Chapter 24. Splendid Isolation. As the next golfing season began to roll by like a golf cart on a winding fairway, Mountain Cap finally found himself navigating the tumultuous terrain of professional golf once again. Despite his best efforts, his journey back to the upper echelons of the PGA Tour was proving to be a long, winding road fraught with many obstacles and setbacks. With each swing of the club, Mountain battled against the swirling winds of doubt and uncertainty, while striving to recapture the magic that had once propelled him to true greatness. But try as he might, success now seemed to elude him. And as the tournaments came and went, Mountain's name appeared less and less frequently among the PGA leaderboard's elite. The once familiar thrill of competition had now become a distant memory, replaced by the bitter tastes of disappointment and frustration alike. Yet, amid the storm clouds of defeat, there were moments of fleeting brilliance that offered up glimpses of the golfer that Mountain once was. A birdie here, a par there, all small victories in the grand scheme of things, but victories nonetheless. Still, for all of his efforts, Mountain could only manage to crack into the top 10 on the PGA leaderboard once throughout the entire season, a far cry from the dominance he had once known. It was a bitter pill for him to swallow, and a very stark reminder of the unforgiving nature of the sport that he still loved. But even in the face of such fierce adversity, Mountain still refused to yield. With each setback, he redoubled his efforts, honing his skills and sharpening his resolve for the many battles yet to come. For while the road ahead may have been both a long and arduous one, Mountain knew that true greatness could still be forged in spite of this adversity. And so, with his sights set firmly on the future, Mountain pressed forward, with his heart filled with the unwavering belief that one day he would reclaim his rightful place among the elite of golf. For in the end, it was not about the trophies, the green jacket, or the accolades. It was about the journey itself, and the unwavering determination to never give up, no matter what the odds. Then something seismic occurred outside of the realm of golf that shook Mountain to his very foundation. Both of his closest friends had now ventured into serious relationships, a development that not only surprised Mountain, but also rattled him to his core. Austin, his steadfast companion through the tumultuous tides of life since college, took a major step towards the great matrimonial plunge and became engaged to a lovely lady named Angelina. She was a whirlwind of energy, with her infectious laughter and carefree spirit injecting a fresh vitality into their tight-knit circle. Angelina was armed with both effortless charm and passion for adventure, and she obviously was able to breathe new life into Austin. Their many escapades together made Austin feel like he was on an exhilarating journey into the great unknown. But the surprises did not end there. Johnny, Mountain's ever-reliable confidant, embarked on a romantic journey of his own, albeit down a less conventional path. In a move that raised more than a few eyebrows, Johnny found himself in the midst of a committed relationship as approximately 33% of what he dubbed a throuple. The throuple was a highly unusual arrangement where 3 hearts beat as one. It was a configuration that flew in the face of societal norms, but that worked seamlessly for Johnny and his 2 lady partners, fostering a bond of both love and companionship that was nothing short of extraordinary. Mountain's only question in regard to the arrangement was if the 2 ladies ever made the sweet love without Johnny being present. Johnny was somehow able to dance around giving him a straight answer to this important question. For Mountain, these developments triggered a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. On one hand, he was genuinely thrilled for Austin and Johnny, and somewhat enjoyed basking in the radiant glow of their newfound love. Yet, on the other hand, a sense of longing and uncertainty now seemed to gnaw at his insides, and cast a dark shadow over his own solitary existence. As he stood by his friend's side, witnessing their joyous new developments, Mountain could not help but to feel a pang of envy tinged with humor. After all, if anyone deserved to find love, it was Austin and Johnny, the 2 souls who had stood by him through both thick and thin, weathering life's storms with unwavering loyalty and unrivaled humor. In the quiet days and weeks that followed these developments, Mountain grappled with his inner turmoil and found solace in the absurdity of it all. Here he was, surrounded by so much love and laughter, yet he felt as if he were an outsider in his own damned story. It was a paradox that left him scratching his head in bemusement, wondering when or if his turn at true love would ever come. But amidst the chaos of his swirling emotions, Mountain made a silent vow to himself, a promise to keep his heart open to whatever the future held, be it love, companionship, or the familiar waters of masturbatory self-discovery. For in the end, he knew that the journey was just as important as the destination, and that true happiness could only be found by embracing the unknown with open arms, no matter how daunting it may seem. Amidst the chaos of life's bustling throng, Mountain grew more and more frustrated in his pursuits of love and golfing greatness. He decided that he needed isolation. Isolation from romantic pursuits, isolation from his closest friends who were now coupled, even thrupled off, and yes, even isolation from competitive golf. Mountain next decided that he would seek solace in the icy embrace of Churchill, Manitoba, a place where the winds whispered secrets and the snow whispered tales of bygone eras. It was a land almost untouched by the clamor of civilization, where the wild of the Arctic tundra beckoned with a siren's call. As Mountain set foot upon the frozen soil of this remote outpost, he felt as if he had stepped into another world, a world where time moved at its own leisurely pace and the rhythms of nature held sway over all. Here, amidst the stark beauty of the Canadian North, he soon found refuge from the relentless demands of his fame and fortune. Churchill was a place of many contrasts, where the icy grip of winter coexisted with the vibrant pulse of life. It was truly a land of extremes, where the winter nights seemed to stretch on into eternity. Here, amidst the frozen expanse of the Hudson Bay, Mountain felt a sense of belonging that he had never known before. The town itself was a testament to the indomitable spirit of its inhabitants, who had carved out a life for themselves amidst the harsh realities of the Arctic wilderness. Churchill was a place where the polar bears roamed free and the northern lights danced across the night sky, a place where the line between myth and reality blurred with every passing moment. Access to Churchill was most certainly no easy feat. Nestled at the edge of the world, it was a place accessible only by water, air, or rail. And while most of the locals traversed the frozen landscape on sturdy four-wheelers, with their engines growling like beasts in the night, for Mountain, who refused to be bound by convention, a golf cart seemed the only fitting mode of transport. And so it was that Mountain's trusty golf cart soon arrived in Churchill by train, its arrival heralded by the clatter of steel wheels on frozen tracks. As he took to the streets of this remote town, which were unconnected from the rest of the Canadian road system, Mountain felt a sense of liberation wash over him, a feeling akin to breaking free from the shackles of society and embracing the untamed nature of the Arctic. At regular intervals, Mountain's golf cart would need to be pulled out of snowbanks by the four-wheelers of the local inhabitants. Those who were born there were known as Churchillians, and they often tried to advise Mountain to drive a four-wheeler instead, but Mountain loved being the only one in town that drove a golf cart, even if deep down at some level he knew that an ATV was a much more suitable choice for the local terrain. In the first few times that his golf cart became stuck in the snow, it caused minor aches and pains to Mountain's pride. But after a while he began to consider being pulled out of snowbanks to be a great bonding experience with these Churchillians. In Churchill, every day was truly an adventure waiting to unfold. Mountain spent his days exploring the frozen tundra, venturing out into the wilderness in search of elusive polar bears and ancient Inuit ruins. He marveled at the stark beauty of his surroundings, where the icy expanse of the world's second-largest bay, the Hudson Bay, stretched out before him like a vast, frozen ocean. He often drove golf balls into the bay and towards polar bears that were off in the distance. Despite never striking a polar bear with his golf cart directly, he was almost sure that at least a couple of his many golf balls had struck the tails of beluga whale tails as they moved gracefully near the surface of the water. One of his drives into the snowy abyss also once hit an eagle. Mountain was very happy to see that the eagle sustained no injuries and kept right on flying, at which point Mountain went and bought a round for everyone at the local bar, and bragged that he had just gotten a birdie. Not many of the Churchillians understood what Mountain was talking about, and those that did understand lectured him about the potential ecological impact of his driving golf balls all over their formerly pristine terrain. Nevertheless, they all consumed the drinks that Mountain had just procured for them. But it was not just the natural wonders of Churchill that captivated Mountain. It was the sense of camaraderie and community that he found amongst its resilient inhabitants. He forged friendships with the locals, sharing stories and laughter over steaming cups of Java by the fire. Mountain enjoyed the fact that each cup of coffee came with a cinnamon polar bear paw print atop of the whipped cream. And as the seasons changed and the days grew shorter, Mountain found himself transformed by his time in Churchill. He emerged from his first year of solitude with a renewed sense of purpose and a deeper connection to the nature of the world around him. And though he knew that his journey was far from over, Mountain took comfort in the knowledge that Churchill would always hold a special place in his heart, whether he stayed forever or left tomorrow to head back to his Beanfield estate. Mountain felt like whatever amount of time that he spent there was a testament to the enduring spirit of the Arctic and the untamed wilderness that called it home.